You know the foods you eat can determine what kind of dreams you'll have in your sleep?
Oh, I want to hear this one.
So studies have actually shown that the foods you eat will cause you to have specific types of dreams in your sleep. So it was found that if you eat cheese before you sleep, even if it's a little amount, it'll help you sleep more peacefully, but it'll also cause a peaceful dream. And if you drink a glass of milk before you sleep, it'll help you have a more happy and exciting dream because milk has melatonin in it, which helps with sleep patterns.
Well, I guess everyone who's allergic to dairy probably have really bad dreams then.
Yeah, but if you eat chocolate or anything really sugary like candy or ice cream, it's harder for your brain to shut down, which will result in more nightmares. And if you eat a lot of spicy food, you're more inclined to have really strange dreams that could lead into really bad nightmares.
Well, I guess I'm never eating spicy foods again. Have you heard of the theory about Boo from Monsters, Inc?
Wait, what about Boo?
So 4 years ago, Top 10 Trends posted a crazy video about a theory about Boo. So you know like in Monsters, Inc, how all the monsters travel through doors that go to like a random kid's room to scare them?
Yeah.
So there's a theory that after Sully and Mike left Boo, she missed them a lot and always wanted to try to go find them again. And she discovered a way to use magic to travel through doors, just like how Sully and Mike would use to go to different dimensions to kids' rooms.
Oh, I know this theory. This is a good one.
Yeah, so in the movie Brave, we see that evil witch, she like uses the doors and travels through them just like how Sully and Mike would use it. Boo from Monsters, Inc. is actually the witch from Brave, and she also has a carving of Sully like on a piece of wood, and she has a model of Randall from Monsters, Inc. And on her desk, there's also a wood carving of the Pizza Planet truck, which shows that she could time travel, because in Brave, the Pizza Planet truck did not exist yet.
Dude, I remember hearing this theory like years ago, but it still blows my mind. Have you heard of the Kanye West theory?
The Donda album was crazy.
Dude, I know, but what if I told you it wasn't completely finished?
Wait, what do you mean by not finished?
So if you didn't know, Universal Music Group released Donda without Kanye's permission. And we know Drake leaked an unreleased Donda song, Life of the Party. So there's a theory that there was a lot more music that didn't make it onto Donda, and Kanye wasn't able to put it in because he wasn't finished. And in Donda, there's only 4 songs that have a part 2. Like Jail has a part 1 and a part 2. But what if the part 2s to all the other songs are all the unreleased tracks that didn't make it into Donda? Because maybe he's gonna release an album that has all the unreleased tracks that didn't make it onto Donda just to get back at Universal Music Group and Drake.
I feel like that would be such the Kanye thing to do.
What if I told you a quarter could predict the future?
Okay, so then how does a quarter predict the future?
Okay, so every year new quarters come out and they're put into circulation, but the quarters are made a year in advance to when they're released. So a 2000 quarter was made in 1999, but released in 2000.
Right.
But the crazy thing is that if you look at the quarters that were released in 2020, they have 2 bats on the back. The very thing that reportedly caused 2020 to be the worst year ever because someone ate a bat and got sick. But remember, these quarters are made a year in advance.
From now on, everyone's gonna be checking their quarters to see the future.
I mean, it's probably just a coincidence, but don't you think it's kind of weird that the only quarter with 2 bats on it happens to be the 2020 quarter? A quarter that was made in 2019.
So there's a crazy theory about the new Hawkeye Disney Plus show.
Dude, that show is gonna be so good.
So in the trailer, we see that Hawkeye has a hearing aid, and in the comics, he loses his hearing over time. But what if I told you that in the show, there's a different reason?
What's the reason?
So remember at the end of Black Widow where we see Val's talking to Yelena Belova and basically lying to her, telling her that Clint Barton's the one that killed Natasha?
Yeah.
So this is where the theory comes in. What if Yelena Belova actually believes Val, and she goes out to get revenge on Clint and beats him up really bad because he doesn't want to fight her back because he feels bad for Natasha's death and he feels responsible for it. But in the process of getting beat up really bad by Yelena, he ends up losing his hearing.
That would make sense because Yelena doesn't really know how Natasha died.
Right. Also in the trailer, there's a new character named Echo where she could like mimic any of her enemies' fighting styles. And she's also deaf, so it makes sense why she's in the show because Clint is losing his hearing. And now she can help Clint be able to learn how to fight without being able to hear.
Dude, Disney can take all my money. This show's gonna be so good.
Did you know that having bad handwriting is actually a good thing?
Well, I guess I'm lucky. I have terrible handwriting.
So you know like in school, like how teachers are always saying like you have to have good handwriting. If you don't, you're gonna fail in life. But what if I told you that they're the ones that are wrong?
Dude, my teachers used to hate me because of my handwriting.
So recently a lot of research has been done on people's handwriting, and they found that people with bad handwriting could actually be a genius. So if you look at Elon Musk, who created Tesla and SpaceX, and Gary Vee, they're all geniuses, right? But the one thing they have in common is that they kind of have sloppy handwriting. And Kanye West is one of the most creative artists there is, but he's known for having really bad handwriting where people can't even read his writing. Basically, it's that their brain is really gifted and thinks faster than they can write. So it's like their brain is going so fast that their hand can't even catch up with their brain. And that's why it's so messy.
Dude, I always thought the people with the neatest handwriting were always the smartest.
Have you heard of the theory that Marlin from Finding Nemo is actually the villain of the movie?
Are you really about to ruin Nemo again?
Well, think about it. If you look at the beginning of the movie, we see that barracuda fish, right? And it supposedly killed Nemo's family and Nemo's mom. But we never actually see it happen. Research has shown that barracuda fish, 1, do not eat clownfish, and 2, will not eat fish eggs. But you know who would eat clownfish eggs?
Who?
So research has shown that actually male clownfish will eat their partner's eggs.
Are you serious?
And Marlin is a male clownfish. So there's a theory that Marlin actually kills all the fish eggs and feels bad for it. So in his imagination, he just creates a fish named Nemo, make himself feel better knowing that like there's one fish still alive. But if you look at the word Nemo, as you know, the word Nemo in Latin means no one. So he's literally thinking of no one because Nemo's not really there.
Dude, Nemo will never be the same.
Did you know that every human on average will eat 8 spiders in their lifetime?
What do you mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that say it's not true, but some medical experts found that it's very possible. There's been many cases where we found that spiders like to live in people's ears and in their mouths when they're sleeping.
Dude, one time I woke up and there was a spider crawling on my face.
Yeah, so Dr. Eric Voigt found that some spiders actually will live in our ear canal and make a web while we're sleeping. They found that some spiders actually live in the human ear up to 5 days without us even knowing. So a doctor named Dr. Zhang Pan told the news that his patient actually felt a crawling sensation in the back of his ear, and it ended up being a spider. And it makes sense too if you sleep with your mouth open. If a spider will go in our ear, they're probably going to go in our mouth too.
Dude, I'm never sleeping with my mouth open ever again. I have a crazy Big Hero 6 theory.
All right, let's hear it.
So we all know Hero, and he's like a kid genius that builds super cool inventions.
Right.
But it makes you wonder, what else has he created besides what's just in the movie? But there's a theory that he built and designed Eve from WALL-E, and he gave his work to the company by and large.
Wait, how?
So if you look at what's on Hero's desk, there's something that looks exactly like Eve's head, showing that Hero created and programmed Eve and sold her to by and large to use in the future, knowing that the Earth will need her one day.
That's so crazy. I never even noticed that.
And Big Hero 6 takes place in 2032, and WALL-E takes place in 2805. So it only makes sense since Hero's one of the greatest inventors ever. He created a bunch of different robots with many different purposes, just like Tony Stark did.
It actually makes sense because we never knew who designed Eve. Have you heard of the Doctor Strange theory?
No.
So in the most recent episode of What If, we see an evil Doctor Strange where he seeks dark magic and he wants to bring back the love of his life, Christine.
Yeah, it was really weird to see how evil he was. He was using the same exact powers that Agatha used on Wanda.
Yeah, at the end of the episode, we see him stuck in like a void force field because he literally destroyed the world that he was in. But we know that he's not dead because he's in future What If episodes.
Oh, you think the Watcher will let him out?
Maybe. So the creator of the show What If, AC Bradley, actually said that all the What If episodes are connected to all the MCU movies. So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that the evil Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Wait, what?
So in Spider-Man No Way Home, we see Doctor Strange open up the multiverse. But that will possibly allow the evil Doctor Strange to come into the main MCU timeline. And Christine is still alive in the main MCU timeline. So evil Doctor Strange will probably want to come to the main MCU timeline to find Christine again and live with her.
Wait, that makes so much sense. Have you ever wondered what happened to Mufasa after he died?
Yeah, you really never know what happens to the body.
So we all know Scar pushed Mufasa off of a cliff into a stampede and died, but we don't know where the body went after.
I do know some people say that the hyenas actually ate Mufasa.
Yeah, so I read this article and there's a theory that Scar and the hyenas ate Mufasa together.
Wait, Scar ate Mufasa?
Yeah, so if you look at the scene where Zazu's talking to Scar in the cave, Scar's playing with a skull that looks exactly like a lion's skull. But there was only 2 grown lions at the time, Scar and Mufasa, showing that Scar and the hyenas probably ate Mufasa. And after eating Mufasa, assuming that's the only lion the hyenas ever eaten, they ended up liking lion meat. So in the end, they ended up ganging up on Scar and eating him too.
I mean, it makes sense because even on National Geographic, you see hyenas eating lions. Have you heard of the theory that plants on the earth actually listen to what you say?
What are you talking about?
So IKEA did this science experiment where they had 2 of the same plants. Both are exactly the same. And they had these little kids say negative things in a recorder. And they said like, you're ugly, you're never gonna grow. And they put that recorder by one of the plants and they had it constantly play throughout the day. And then they had the same kids say positive things in a recorder and they said like, you're beautiful, you're gonna grow, you can do it. And they put that recorder by the other plant and that constantly played throughout the day. So both plants are exactly the same. They get the same amount of water, the same amount of sunlight. The only thing different is one's being told negative things and the other one's being told positive things.
Right.
So get this, after 30 days, they found out that the plant that was being told positive things grew way better. And then the plant that was being told negative things and being bullied started to die and started to droop.
Stop it. No way.
It just shows, even for plants, how bullying could be really damaging to their health. Can you imagine what it does to humans?